Most golfers step out of the car, stretch their shoulders, take a few loose practice swings, and hit arbitrary putts to find rhythm. Then they head straight to the first tee. Treating the moments before a round as a simple muscular warm-up ignores what you are actually playing on. A golf course is a living, breathing ecosystem. This cross-section shows exactly what happens to the turf overnight. A 10-degree drop in temperature, the accumulation of morning dew, and even fractional millimeters of overnight grass growth alter the physical properties of the playing surface. Those microscopic biological changes dictate the macroscopic friction your ball will encounter. A putt struck with the exact same force might roll 10 feet on a dry Tuesday afternoon, but only 8 feet on a damp Wednesday morning. To beat the rest of the field, you do not necessarily need to overhaul your swing mechanics. You need better, more accurate data for the exact conditions of that specific day. You have to abandon the idea of a simple physical warm-up. The time before your round is a critical window to run an environmental calibration experiment. This pre-competition setup card is a systematic lab notebook. The top section structures a routine from 4 to 30 paces. The goal isn't sinking the ball. You log the precise backswing length required for the correct carry at each distance. Because the biological variables of the turf shift overnight, the base green speed is entirely unique to the moment you step onto the course. Look at this pendulum comparison. When you log those backswing lengths, you are actively measuring the turf's coefficient of friction. An identical mechanical stroke yields entirely different roll distances based on the day's specific surface resistance. By completing this section, you strip away the guesswork. You establish a strict mathematical baseline for green speed before stepping onto the first tee. Next, the experiment moves just off the green. To solve the bounce, test your pitching wedge, 50-degree and 56-degree wedges. Then apply specific firmness modifiers. A hard surface requires a 15% adjustment for skid, while a softer surface means the ball stops quickly. This arc illustrates the carry-to-roll ratio. By testing your specific lofts against the day's firmness, you calculate exactly how long the ball will fly versus how long it will run on the ground. The final step accounts for course macro variables: wind, temperature, and bunker sand. These introduce environmental drag. A temperature drop increases air density and wind resistance. These atmospheric shifts modify the math of every distance calculation you just made. A fully populated setup card gives you a complete, customized physical model of the golf course. And because conditions change daily, that specific mathematical model will only exist for the exact next 24 hours. Imagine a live competition. On one side, you have an uncalibrated amateur operating entirely on feel. On the other, a player holding a completed set of daily data. They both face a tricky 15-pace shot from the fringe. The amateur takes out a lofted wedge and gambles on a high-risk chip, hoping to perfectly time the strike and simply guess the bounce. The calibrated golfer faces the exact same scenario but sees mathematical certainty. Instead of gambling, they execute a low-risk hybrid bump and run, trusting the specific friction and carry-to-roll data they mapped out earlier. A player who steps onto the course knowing exactly how the ball will behave in today's specific wind and on today's specific greens has already outprepared the vast majority of the field. At the highest level, the game is not played against the static layout of the course. It is played against the shifting daily science of the environment.